Amika's Mirrorball shampoo was recalled for Pseudomonas aeruginosa contamination, a luxurious boutique purchase turned into a bacterial threat for anyone with a compromised immune system. This wasn't an isolated misstep, it exposed a deeper issue in shampoo safety, where even well-loved premium-looking products can be manufactured under conditions that allow microscopic dangers to slip through. Amika's recall shattered the illusion that quality branding equals quality control, proving that style often overshadows safety in the hair care aisle. This video investigates the hidden risks in 5 popular shampoo brands compromised by contamination or chemical exposure, from bacterial threats to benzene-laced aerosols in trusted names like Dove, Tresemme, and Nexus. It contrasts these with 2 brands that get it right, Honest Shampoo and Acure, which prioritize transparency, minimal ingredients, and slow, safe manufacturing. In an industry riddled with regulatory gaps and mass production shortcuts, this is a call to stop trusting the bottle and start reading the story behind it, because real luxury isn't how a product looks, it's whether it won't hurt you. We've all been there, standing in a drugstore aisle or scrolling online, bombarded by shampoo brands promising lush, voluminous, magazine cover hair. But behind the sleek packaging and buzzwords like moisturizing, nourishing, or color safe, something far more serious is going on. If you're tired of being lied to, if you're ready to expose the truth they don't want you to know, then don't just watch, join this fight. Hit subscribe right now so you never miss the facts the corporations hope you'll ignore. Every new video pulls back the curtain a little more, and together we're building a movement they can't silence. Subscribe, stay informed, and let's take back control, one truth at a time. The truth is that many of the most recognizable shampoo brands on the market are failing where it matters most, safety. While these companies rake in billions, everyday consumers are left exposed to dangerous chemicals, poor manufacturing oversight, and even bacterial contamination. This isn't about preference, it's about protecting your health. Let's start with what the industry doesn't want you to know. Shampoo isn't regulated with the same rigor as food or pharmaceuticals. There are no mandatory pre-market safety tests by the FDA for most cosmetic products. So what happens? Companies cut corners. They prioritize speed and volume over quality control, and the result is shampoo products contaminated with bacteria, riddled with industrial chemicals, or containing ingredients that no one should be putting on their scalp. And yes, some of the biggest names are guilty. Take Amika's Mirrorball shampoo. This wasn't just a formula gone wrong. This was a full-blown recall triggered by microbiological contamination. Lab tests found Pseudomonas aeruginosa, a bacterium that can cause serious infections, especially in people with compromised immune systems. This is the same bacteria that can be life-threatening in hospital settings, yet it somehow made it into a boutique-style hair product sitting on store shelves and bathroom counters across the country. If you think a premium brand guarantees safety, think again. And the contamination problem doesn't stop there. Dove, Tresemme, and Nexus, household names with millions of loyal users, were also hit with recalls. This time, the culprit was benzene. Yes, benzene, a known carcinogen linked to leukemia and other blood disorders. These brands didn't put benzene in their formulas on purpose, but that's part of the problem. This industrial contaminant slipped in through aerosol dry shampoo manufacturing processes. It shouldn't be in any personal care product, period. But it was. That's the danger of mass production and supply chain shortcuts. The message here is crystal clear. Even the most trusted, widely used products are not immune from systemic failure. It's not about one bad batch. It's about an industry operating with glaring vulnerabilities. The scale of production is so massive, the supply chain so complex, that microscopic impurities can spread across thousands of units before anyone catches it. And by the time they do, it's too late. The products are already in homes, on heads, in the air. The damage is already done. Now let's talk about regulation, or the lack of it. In many parts of the world, especially the United States, cosmetics operate in a regulatory gray zone. Companies are largely self-policing. There's no requirement for independent safety testing before products hit the market. The FDA can only intervene after a problem is reported. So in the case of these recalled shampoos, the system didn't protect you. It reacted after the fact. In Europe, regulations are a bit more advanced with post-market surveillance, but even there, invisible contaminants like benzene or microbial risks aren't caught easily. The oversight is reactive, not proactive. That's why shampoo recalls aren't rare anymore. They're becoming a disturbing trend. One contaminated shipment here, another chemical slip up there. It all adds up. The pursuit of market dominance, flashy packaging, and shelf presence comes at a cost: consumer health. And make no mistake, the emotional and physical toll is real. Scalp irritation, infections, allergic reactions, and loss of trust are just the beginning. Hairstylists are reporting more frequent reactions in clients. Consumers are confused, betrayed, and left to figure out the mess themselves. Let's cut through the marketing noise. Dove, Tresemme, Nexus, and Amika have all faced issues with either microbial contamination or chemical impurities. That's not speculation, it's documented. These are not isolated hiccups. They're red flags. They show us that size, reputation, and pretty branding mean absolutely nothing if the foundation safe manufacturing isn't there. It's not enough to say this smells nice or my hair feels soft. You have to ask, what am I actually putting on my scalp? Is it clean? Is it tested? Is it free of harmful residues? That's why it's so important to lift up the brands that are doing it right. In an industry this messy, there are still outliers. Companies that value transparency, safety, and rigorous quality control above flashy trends. Honest Shampoo and Acure are two of those brands. They don't promise miracles. They don't rely on celebrity endorsements or viral TikTok videos. They keep it simple. They focus on clean formulations, plant-based ingredients, and small batch manufacturing. Honest Shampoo uses plant-based surfactants and avoids synthetic additives that can irritate the scalp or carry toxic residues. Their ingredient lists are transparent. You can read them, understand them, and feel confident about them. No mystery chemicals, no surprises. That's not just refreshing, it's responsible. Acure takes it even further. With slow, meticulous batch testing and a commitment to biological safety, they don't cut corners. Their products are deliberately formulated, with each batch tested for microbial contamination before it ever reaches the shelf. They understand that shampoo isn't just cosmetic, it's something that comes in direct contact with your skin, your hair follicles, your body. That level of discipline in formulation and manufacturing is rare and vital. These brands understand what the giants don't or won't. That safety is the foundation of real beauty, that consumers shouldn't have to roll the dice every time they wash their hair. They prove that you can have clean, effective products without risking your health, and consumers need to meet them halfway, because yes, part of the responsibility falls on us. We need to get smarter. We need to check recall histories. We need to read ingredients, verify lot numbers, and support the companies that take our health seriously. It's not enough to be passive. The cost of ignorance is too high. You don't need a chemistry degree, but you do need awareness. Look past the Instagram ads. Look past the slogans. Ask questions. Demand answers. Because this isn't just about shampoo. It's about how much we're willing to compromise for convenience. It's about the culture of fast beauty, mass-produced, trend-driven, and poorly regulated. It's about valuing short-term aesthetics over long-term health. That has to change. We need to redefine what luxury means in the hair care industry. It's not in the glossy label or the 5-syllable fragrance. True luxury is peace of mind. It's knowing that the product you're using isn't contaminated, carcinogenic, or carelessly manufactured. Safety should not be a premium feature. It should be the baseline. It's time to make that the new standard. Support the brands that are transparent. Reward the companies that go the extra mile. Turn your back on the ones that treat health as an afterthought. Because when we shift our choices, the industry has no choice but to follow. Check your bathroom shelf. Research what you're using. Switch to brands like Honest Shampoo and Acure, and demand more from the rest. Your health isn't worth the risk. Start reading. Stop trusting blindly, and reclaim control over what touches your body. Safety starts with awareness, and awareness starts with you. And here's the hardest truth most people still don't want to admit. This isn't some rare fluke. These aren't just unlucky batches that slip through. What we're seeing is the result of a broken system, one that relies on profit-first mentalities, speed over scrutiny, and an alarming level of consumer complacency. The brands you've grown up with, the ones advertised during prime time, the ones lining big box shelves, many of them are not operating with your safety as the top priority. When companies scale up, they don't just scale production, they scale risk. Giant manufacturing plants handle ingredients from all over the globe. Preservatives are added to extend shelf life, Aerosol formulas are designed for mass efficiency, not necessarily purity. Somewhere in that mix, dangerous contaminants creep in. The recalls involving benzene, a cancer-linked chemical that had no business being in a product meant for your scalp, should have been a wake-up call. Instead, they were shrugged off as technicalities by the companies involved. Apologies were issued, but few changes followed, and the products just kept flowing back onto shelves. Let's be clear, no level of benzene in a dry shampoo is acceptable, none, and yet it happened, not once, but across multiple brands. The presence of this industrial contaminant, typically associated with manufacturing solvents and gasoline, shows exactly how vulnerable the personal care supply chain really is. It's not just about the formula, it's about the pipelines, the preservatives, the containers, and the unregulated corners of the industry, where shortcuts become standard practice. What's worse is that the public rarely hears the full story. When Dove, Tresemme and Nexus were caught in the benzene scandal, the media coverage was minimal. No primetime exposés, no widespread outrage. Why? Because the beauty industry is good at damage control. It spends millions to manage public perception. Voluntary recalls are framed as responsible acts of caution, not the catastrophic failures they truly are. It's a PR game, and they're winning at your expense. You know who's not winning? The consumer with unexplained scalp irritation. The person who trusted the label that said clean, or safe or gentle, only to find themselves battling inflammation, sensitivity, or worse. The stylist who recommends a product to a client, only to see adverse reactions. These aren't hypothetical harms. They're real, they're happening, and they're getting buried under advertising dollars and brand loyalty. That's why brand trust needs a serious recalibration. Legacy names don't automatically deserve it. Slick marketing doesn't earn it. Consistent safety does. And that's where Honest Shampoo and Acure have carved out a critical niche. In a landscape overrun by speed and scale, they've chosen the harder path, the one that prioritizes ingredient integrity, microbial testing, and small batch discipline. They're not just claiming to be safe, they're proving it. Take Honest Shampoo. It's not the cheapest option, and it's not pretending to be the trendiest. What it is, though, is clean. It avoids synthetic additives that so many other companies rely on to enhance fragrance or shelf life. It uses plant-based surfactants that are less irritating and more environmentally friendly, and it provides an ingredient list that doesn't read like a chemistry exam. If you can't pronounce half the ingredients in your shampoo, you probably shouldn't be putting it on your head. Honest makes sure you don't have to choose between performance and peace of mind. And then there's Acure. This is a company that treats shampoo like a health product, not just a cosmetic. They're slow on purpose, small on purpose. They test thoroughly, and they're transparent when they do. You don't have to dig through obscure lab reports or call customer service for clarity. They post what's in their formulas and explain why. That level of openness is rare, and it's invaluable. It means you're not just buying shampoo, you're buying a commitment to safety. There's a lesson here that goes beyond just which brands to trust. This is about recognizing the illusion of safety that mass market beauty has created. When something is everywhere, when it's on your TV, your phone, your friend's bathroom shelf, it feels legitimate, but presence doesn't equal protection, and popularity doesn't equal purity. Some of the most widely used products are the most dangerous. That's the paradox of the industry, and it's one that consumers need to dismantle by voting with their dollars. Because right now, the system still favors the reckless. It still rewards the companies that can produce the most product, fastest, cheapest, flashiest. It punishes the ones that take the time to test, to slow down, to clean up their ingredient list. But the balance can shift. If enough people say enough is enough, that starts with awareness. It starts with reading beyond the buzzwords. Dermatologist tested doesn't mean what you think it means. Natural is not a regulated term. Safe for daily use is not a legally binding promise. All of these phrases are crafted to sell, not to inform. So push back. Learn what's actually in your products. Dig into recall histories. Ask questions, because the companies cutting corners are counting on you not to look deeper. That's how they get away with it. And if you're thinking, but I've used these products for years, and I'm fine, consider this: safety isn't just about what happens today, it's about accumulation, it's about invisible exposure to harmful substances over time. Benzene doesn't cause immediate symptoms. Bacterial contamination doesn't affect everyone right away, but the damage can build, it can fester, and by the time it shows up in your body, the source is long forgotten. The shampoo bottle is empty, the product discontinued, the recall buried. That's what makes it dangerous. We don't have the luxury of indifference anymore, not when even boutique brands like Amica are letting Pseudomonas aeruginosa slip into their formulas, not when aerosol sprays from billion-dollar corporations are contaminated with a cancer-causing chemical. These aren't rare accidents, they're symptoms of a system that's stretched too thin, too fast, too profit-obsessed to care about what happens once the product leaves the warehouse. It's time to flip the script, time to stop treating clean products like a bonus, and start treating them as the bare minimum. Time to put transparency at the center of trust. The only brands that deserve your loyalty are the ones willing to earn it, with testing, with openness, with humility. Brands like Honest Shampoo and Acure, they're not perfect, but they're trying, and in today's landscape, that already puts them miles ahead of the competition. The truth is, too many people still think of shampoo as something trivial, just bubbles and fragrance, but it's not trivial when it's contaminated with bacteria that can infect your skin. It's not trivial when it's laced with carcinogens linked to long-term disease, and it's not trivial when multinational corporations are allowed to push these products out the door with zero meaningful oversight, knowing full well that consumers don't read ingredient panels or scour safety alerts. That's the ugly reality. Most people trust the bubble, and for too long, that trust has been exploited. Let's not forget, Pseudomonas aeruginosa isn't some random bug. It's a pathogen associated with serious infections, especially in hospitals. It thrives in moist environments, which makes shampoo a perfect breeding ground if preservation systems fail. And that's exactly what happened with Amica. The brand had all the right aesthetics, all the influencer endorsements, all the boutique credibility, and yet the safety systems collapsed. That wasn't just a manufacturing error, that was a systemic failure that exposed how fragile the illusion of safety really is. And Dove Tresemme, Nexus, their problem was even more insidious. Benzene is colorless, odorless, invisible. You can't see it in your dry shampoo. You won't feel it when you spray, but it's there lurking in the formula, the result of sloppy supply chain management and a lack of safeguards during production. This is the kind of contaminant that gets in because no one is looking for it. It's not part of the routine checklist. It's not supposed to be there, but it shows up anyway, quietly, dangerously, and then people get sick, and only then does anyone start to care. And you know what the worst part is? These companies didn't face real consequences. A few press releases, a few lot numbers quietly recalled, but the shelves stayed full. The brand reputations barely took a hit, and most consumers never heard a word about it. That's how normalized failure has become in this industry. There's no accountability, because there's no pressure. That has to change, and it starts with us, because there are better options, not just clean beauty gimmicks, not just rebranded versions of the same old formulas, but companies that actually put safety first, starting with formulation, continuing through production, and ending with full transparency. Honest Shampoo and Acure are two of the very few that are doing it right, not because it's trendy, but because it's necessary. Honest Shampoo avoids the chemical soup that fills most bottles. It strips away the artificial dyes, the mystery preservatives, the petrochemical-based ingredients that so often cause irritation, or worse. It's not overloaded with 20 ingredients you can't pronounce. It's functional, minimalist, and made with intention. When you read the label, you know what you're getting, and when you use it, your scalp can breathe. Acure takes it to another level, with slow batch production and extensive microbial testing. They don't gamble with your health. They test before it ever hits the market. They take the time to ensure every bottle meets the highest safety standards, not because they have to, because they choose to. That's the difference between a company that sees you as a person and one that sees you as a sale. These are not luxury brands in the conventional sense, but in today's landscape, where shortcuts are the norm and contamination
fashion is shrugged off. Real safety is the new luxury. Transparency is luxury. Peace of mind is luxury. And that's what Honest Shampoo and Acure deliver. They've drawn a line in the sand and said we will not compromise. So ask yourself, what kind of brand do you want to support? One that's playing marketing games with your health, or one that treats your well-being like the priority it should have always been? This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. It's about refusing to be passive while corporations profit off our blind trust. It's about demanding more, better, safer, because you deserve better. You deserve a product that doesn't expose you to dangerous microbes or chemical contaminants. You deserve brands that are honest with you, that don't hide behind recalls and press statements when things go wrong. You deserve the truth, on the label, in the formula, and in the company's actions. So take a moment, go check your bathroom shelf, look at the ingredients, research the recall history, and then decide if that bottle deserves to stay, because choosing better isn't hard, it's just intentional, and once you make that shift, you never go back. If this gave you the clarity you didn't know you needed, hit that like button, subscribe to stay ahead of the noise, and with every share, you're helping someone else avoid the trap. This isn't just about shampoo, it's about reclaiming control over what touches your body. Stay informed, stay sharp, and don't let the industry play you.